Hello and welcome back to a new video. So it's been a while, I know that, but we've got the EK in the garage, and there's a reason why the EK's in the garage. It's because we've got some nice shiny parts down there that we're going to fit. Engine's coming out, we've got some spicy cams to put in, we've got a diff to put in, but let me run you through what we've got. Right, so here we go. So the big thing first is the dropping cams that I got, the Skunk2 dropping cams. And I've got a full timing chain kit here, so just all OEM. Obviously, got all the guides and everything like that. Nice tube of Honda Bond as well. So with the obviously engine and gearbox coming out, I've got all the gearbox to seal up as well. So we've got some detent springs there and some what are they? Shifter springs. So yeah, XO recommended replacing those as well. So that's what I'm doing, or upgrading, should I say. Then the next big thing is the Mfactory diff. So this was a stage 1 race pack upgrade, and then you've got the Torco MTF. So obviously you've got to run that if you're running their diffs. Then we've got RDX injectors set for there. Got new bearings to go with the diff. Then we've got a little lightweight heater to go in the car, just to blow a bit of air, because sometimes when you're on track days and if it's been a bit wet or damp, then obviously screen fogs up, so it's just nice to get that slight weight. It's not going to add much more weight anyway. And then an oil cooler. So don't really have much of an issue with oil temps, but they do get to about 95-100 when ragging it, so prevention's better than the cure, I guess, with that one. But yeah, so nice haul of parts here. So let's get to fitting it in the car. Right, so I'm just unbuttoning all of the harness, the wiring harness. Now, I didn't know whether just to leave the harness on, lift the motor out, you know, and basically just disconnect it from inside the car. But anyway, I've just started taking all the plugs off, and at the moment just dropping the coolant so I can pull the radiator out. Right, so 2 hours later, that's it, ready to pull the motor. So I've got the engine crane behind me, just waiting on Gil and some straps, and then we should get this lifting out. I'm literally just waiting for the oil to finish off draining. I've just dropped the gearbox oil as well. So, oh yeah, got drive shaft to pull out as well, so I'll pull that out. Like I say, it's all unbuttoned now. Harness is over that side, and then, like I say, engine mounts I can start and just undoing the bolts, or loosen them off, get it chained up and get it out of here. Got Gil here, look, sorting out little Bertha. She's ready. Got the old chain. Gonna get her pulled. So as you can see, the engine's out. Got the crank pulley bolt out, so that's going to come straight out. That was tight as fuck, so I had to use a scaffold bar to get that out. So the next thing what I'm going to do is take the half shaft out and then start removing the gearbox bolts, pull the gearbox off, and I can just basically rotate the engine round so I can start working on getting the cams in. And then once I've got the cams in, then we'll start putting the diff into the gearbox, get the gearbox taken apart, and then, like I say, take it from there. So let's build a monster. So just take the half shaft out. What I'm going to do is just put the bolts back in so I know where they go. And there you have it, the gearbox all off. So I'll I'll probably go and just put that somewhere safe. Not like there's any more room to do anything in here, but yeah, now that's off, we can start taking rocker cover off, and then yeah, start pulling the timing chain side out as well. Take timing chain off, and then we can start removing cams. Exciting! So first things first, going to take the mount off, and then I'll probably take the oil cooler line off. Rocker cover will then come off, and then I'll start undoing all these bolts for the timing chain cover, and then probably I'll have to take the VTC out as well. So our good friends of XR Racing have sent us out a block off plate for the water pump, and also that'll be on the back edge of the block as well, so I can get rid of the oil cooler, or the stock oil cooler, because I will be running oil cooler, a 19 row one, which probably is a little bit overkill for this, but prevention's better than the cure. So whilst I'm taking everything off, I can put them bungs in as well and tidy all this up, so I won't have this anymore, or this, because that'll be gone. I'll have that and another one, so they'll be back to back for the oil cooler. Well, taking this off, it was only a matter of time before that started leaking anyway. It's got a little bit of shit there, but yeah, I think that'll tidy it up a little bit, won't it? And I just spilled coolant everywhere. Nice one. Ooh. There we go. Not bad. So I was just pissing about, just rotated the engine, but it all looks in time. I've just set it TDC, and then I'm going to basically just undo these bolts, let the adjuster off, and then take all these cam guides out, or chain guides even. Top one, and then yeah, take the chain off, and then we can start undoing the cam holders and get them off, and just do it in the sequence that Honda tells us to do it. But yeah, so far so good. Right, so I've basically gone round, loosened them off as per the removal, well, whatever it is, the removal sequence. So now, like I say, they're all hand loose, so I can just literally go around, take all them off, and then pull the cams out after that. And if you're unfamiliar with the sequence, to remove them, you can get this off the internet, by the way. There you go. So there's your cams, all out the engine. What I'm going to do is put the cam holders back into place, put the rocker cover on, and then I'm going to attempt to get the cam gears off them. So let's go. So I'm up at Gillies, and we're going to remove basically the cam gears off the old camshaft. So we're just well, it's got to be a 24. Got to be a 24. So two 24s with the aim of standing on spanners, and then taking the bolts out to release that. Gearbox is over here, so I'm going to rebuild that up here at the weekend. I've got the Skunk2 camshafts there, and then I've got obviously the spec sheet here for the torque for both intake and exhaust cams, and then when I come to doing the valve laps, got it all ready. But yeah, so we're going to smash this out, probably film it, show you what we're doing. Well, that's one off, that's a 14 off, and now the 17. And we just got to get the back off as well. I think that's yeah, an 8. I think it's an 8mm Allen on the back of that. Maggie, say hello. Wow. It's lifting me up.
Fucking hell, that one's tight, isn't it? She gone?
She's gone. That's it.
Put all my weight on that side. That's mad, isn't it, for a little 17mm fucking bolt?
Mental.
Mental.
So there you go. So that's the cam gears and the well, the sensor, the pickups on the back, all taken off now. I'm gonna unbox the Skunk2s. I've got some thread lock as well for the 17 and the 14mm. So I know the torque specs, 83. Well, this is what Skunk2 recommend. 83 on the 17 and 51 on the 14. So I put these in the bag, and they can be up for sale or go with spares and get building the others. So spot the difference. I'd say look at my new shiny cam, but it's not really that shiny. But hopefully it's just going to give us a bit more brap. You can see the lobes there are quite a bit bigger on that. Get some more air in, get some more air out kind of thing. Make some more power. There you go. So just going to build this up now, put the cam gear on and all that. Get it all torqued up. Right, so I didn't know the torque specs for the pulse plates. I call them camshaft sensor rings or whatever. But anyway, pulse plates, and it's 29 foot-pounds on the back. So just starting to put them on. Obviously you've got to remember that you've got an exhaust, or this is the intake, and then you've got the exhaust there. So I've obviously kept them the same sides. Reason how we know that is because on the camshaft itself it should say in somewhere. Anyway, trust me, it's there you go. Just there. You can't really make it out, but it says in there, and it says X there, so that's your exhaust. And then they've got like these little keyway things that just allow you to locate where the timing gear goes. So that's what we're going to do, build them up and then get them torqued down to spec. Here goes the big one.
Looking like it's going to be a bit thingy. Don't want to do it too thin because it puts stress on that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
See what I mean? It's like pulling it all over as it is.
So there we go. Both cams all built up, all torqued up. Thank you to Michael. So it got a bit scary on the first one because obviously the cam started flexing a little bit, so we turned off the camera, but we got it all done in the end. I just ended up kneeling on the spanners and then holding this down, which seemed to work fine. So double checked them, and happy with that. So time to chuck them in the car and get back to the K20. We're back at base now, so we can start putting the cams into the cam holders. So I'll just make sure we put them in the right place. Obviously intake, exhaust. I have put a little bit of assembly lube as well. Oh, somebody scored at footy. Yeah, put some assembly lube into obviously where the cams sit. Obviously put some assembly lube onto the cams as well, and then probably put them on the cam holders or the cam caps, whatever. Just to make sure that there's a bit of lube there for them. So yeah, let's get to it. Probably needs to come a little bit more this way. It's about there. And then we'll get the next one. The exhaust side. So I've got the camshaft holders on. All I'm going to do now is just torque them down in the specific sequence, and these want to be torqued to 16, and then that little one there is 8.7 foot-pound. So like I say, just going to follow the sequence, tighten them up, get them all torqued down properly to spec, and then we can start getting the chain on. So that's all the bolts now torqued down. These two I have to undo to put the chain guide on, but what I'm going to do now is rotate. There goes my torque wrench. Yeah, so what I've got to do is rotate the cam gears basically to line up this hole with a locator to try and obviously get it to top dead centre, both on the intake and the exhaust cam. And then once I've got that set at that, I'll put some drill bits in. I think the 5mm drill bits in there to hold it because I don't have the proper tool. Then once I've got them set, then I'll put the guides on, then we'll start putting the chain on, just double checking everything, make sure it's all clean. And then once we've made sure it's all clean, yeah, we can get to putting the cover on, getting that all torqued down. We're good to go. So I've got it set at TDC now. Two marks there, 2 dots at the top, then the 2 arrows pointing towards one another. Engine's obviously on the piss slightly because it's sat on its sump, but yeah, all good. Like I say, I've got the drill bits in the back there holding it in place, so I'm literally now just about to put the timing chain on, make sure everything looks alright with the timing marks on the chain, which I'll show you in a second. And once I'm happy with that, then I can put the tensioner on. So we're definitely in time. That bottom, like the darkish link, lines up with the timer mark on the crank. Obviously the 2 arrows there line up, and also if you come to the top, they line up as well on the chain, so we're good to go. So all I'll do now is just literally push this across, yeah, and then we'll get the tensioner on, put it on, torque it down, happy days. And by the way, these are all torqued down. So that's it, everything's all done. So it's time to pull out the pin. There we go. I've seen some people, so give it a little bit of a tap, make sure it's yeah, tension properly. I've seen some people put it with a screwdriver as well just to get extra tension in there, but that's all we're doing. So happy with that. We can now get the timing cover on and then send it. Right, so what I've done there is basically rotated the engine and just done all the valve lashes. So exhaust side is 10 thou, intake side 8 thou. So I've got my little feeler gauges and my 10mm and my screwdriver, literally undoing them. Bit time consuming, but yeah, no to worry. Some of them were quite loose, other ones are tight, so yeah, there's a bit of all over the place, but done that now. Yeah, so basically I think you start with cylinder 1, cylinder 3, cylinder 4 and then cylinder 2, just rotating the crankshaft like 90 degrees or 180 degrees, which turns the cams 90 degrees. So now that's done, just going to give it a final clean up, get another gasket in the cover, put some Honda Bond on, and then I can seal this side up, put the rocker cover onto the top just to make sure it's all sealed up. Now I'm on about doing that blue, get rid of the sun strip as well, doing that blue as just like a spoon colour, and also changing the brakes from pink to blue, so keep it like a spoon theme type thing, but let us know what you think. So now I've got the engine all buttoned up, we've pulled the gearbox apart so it's on the floor, managed to get all the speed ring off wherever that is, just down there. Obviously the final drive, the diffs in the box, going to pull that out, old diffs there just on the floor. Yeah, so going to grab the diff, put the final drive on, put the speed ring on, get all the bearings on wherever they are in here somewhere, and crack on. So there's the speed ring or speedo ring put onto the diff. So the diff's an Mfactory race pack clutch, so it's a helical, it's not a clutch type diff. Got the 2 bearings, so just going to find the appropriate collar to do the bearings, and I'm going to press them on and I can get the final drive on. There you go, top and bottom bearing pushed on. So now I've just got to put, like I say, the final drive on and we are good to go. So I've got the diff in the vise, a little bit sketchy, a bit of wood. Anyway, torqued them all up to 89 foot-pound of torque, or 121 newton meters. So I've just marked them, obviously gone diagonal and torqued them all up that way, but looking good. So now I've got the diff all torqued up and sorted. Just going to drop it back into the case again, so I've kind of cleaned the case out. Took all the sealant off as well and just give it a good clean up best I can. So I'll put the diff back in here, and what I didn't do on the last one that I didn't check the shims, so I'm just going to check the clearance and the shims on this just to make sure that it's within factory tolerance. So I'll just grab that, drop that in here, and yeah, we should go. Note that I forgot to take the speed sensor out, but I did that on the last one, it went in alright. Gears are over there, all nice and safe. There you go, and then it'll just drop down. So before I crack on with the box, just remembered that I had the shifter springs to put in. So these are the Speed Factory Racing shifter springs. So should give us a nice crisp shift. So basically there's a 12mm bolt to come out of here, and then basically pull this off. He says, yeah, so pull that off, and then there's 2 springs underneath here, and then you just replace them with them. So just take them out, and then we can replace them with the new ones, the new shiny bits. And then, like I say, the mechanism over there, you can go back. Why is it not focusing? There you go. And put that back onto there. Right, so I've got all the box cover all torqued up. Got my little feeler gauge here, so I've just checked the shim inside. Recommended, if it will zoom in, so it's 0.1 mil or 4 thou. Anyway, I've checked it and it's okay, so we're good to send it. So all I'll do now is get the gears, I'll take the case off, put the gears in, and then put all the little bits, I think the idler and bits and bobs that are in here, a little bag of tricks in there, so put them back in the box. Obviously put some Honda Bond around it, drop the cover back on, we're good to go. So I've got all the gearbox buttoned up now, torqued up. Yeah, happy days with that. Yeah, went well. What else was I going to say? Oh yeah, so not only did we upgrade the shifter springs, I've also got upgraded detent springs as well, if you can see it. So these are just slightly longer than the stock ones, if you can see that there. Better, anyway. So they basically sit in them. You put the ball bearings into there first, and then sit these springs inside here, and that should just keep the gears in gear, so help keep it anyway. So I'll crack on with that now, get the little ball bearings. I'll actually show you what I'm doing with this. So drop the ball bearing in, and then obviously with the spring and the bolt, push it down, screw it in, if it'll go. There you go. And literally torque them up and do the same for all the rest of them. So I've got the gearbox back at base. All I'm going to do now is start putting on these like oil cooler block off plates that I got from Exo Racing. So got the coolant block off plates. So one on the water pump there, then one down here. I've tried cleaning the block a little bit with a bit of petrol, but it's not really done much. Once I've tightened these up, I'm just going to put the crank pulley on, and then I can start trying to get the gearbox on. So that is it done. We've got the gearbox on now, all mounted up, half shafts on, and then obviously the oil cooler. So that's a thermostat housing. Like I say, that's on there. I'll tighten all that up and obviously work out where the oil lines go once we get that sorted. And then obviously these bits over here for the coolant blank offs, they're on there as well, all tightened down. Pulleys on, rocker cover just needs a new seal on, but I'll sort it out. And that is it for this episode. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Like I say, there's obviously getting the engine in the next video, getting it started. Hopefully everything goes alright, but I'll see you on the next one. See ya!